I love that. You know, I think they've done that on purpose.
I'm glad they have.
Yeah,
It's just a little joyful thing, isn't it? Some
it
people
is.
hate that, and it makes me smile every time it comes up.
It makes me smile as well. It feels like you've sort of like gone back, you know, in time or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that's cool. Cool. So let's let's see if we can get you some clarity or direction or something. So
Amazing.
what would you look to have coaching on today?
So at the last session, um, I had a bit of a thing come to me in terms of how do we, or how do I particularly, how do I move through the things that I don't want to do, but I have to do? So I think if there's things in business that I don't want to do, the answer is I just don't do them. It's probably as simple as that, you know. So,
Yeah, could be.
you know, if there's something that doesn't fit anymore or isn't quite right for a skill set or isn't quite right for a client, then that's probably a really simple answer, is that it shouldn't be me to do it. But then what about the things that you just have to do in life that there isn't an opportunity to outsource? Because I've been trying to work it through myself. So thinking, okay, so if it's something in life that I really don't want to be doing, can I be giving it to someone else? And if the answer is yes, that seems like a really simple answer. Go and give it to someone else. But then what about the things that really can't be given to anyone else and I just have to do them, but want to feel probably joyful about doing them is probably too much of a stretch, but feel okay about it and and not put it off and then, you know, get things done.
Okay. Yeah, it does. It does. Um, I guess I've got two questions which are initially surfacing, just more about sort of clarity. The first one is there some specific examples just so I could really understand it? Is that okay to share?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then the other thing I was sort of wondering is what's the current feeling around doing it or not doing it? Do you know, is it not doing it out of fear, out of not having a skill? Is it just boring? Do you know what's that side of the equation as
I
well?
think it's the feelings definitely boredom, resentment of
Okay.
having to do it in the first place. Um, I think specific examples, I suppose on a really like, granular level would be like the washing and hoovering and horrible household things that I hate doing. Like if I don't do them, then the pain of living in the mess is rubbish, but it's also horrible having to do them.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So I like neatness and tidiness, and I've got there's a separate issue in that I've got a whole load of decluttering to be done in terms of stuff, and there's definitely a blocker there in it's a massive obstacle to get past. So well, I think I might be answering going around in a circle here. So when it comes to then doing like the household stuff that I don't like doing, but I feel better when it's done because then I like living in a nice environment, to actually get to do those things and then be okay. I've got all of this other stuff that's just in the way, and it's physically in the way and it's mentally in the way for me as well because it's looming. You know, there's stuff looming, and I kind of I go around and I reorganize and I shuffle and then I put things in different places with, you know, intentions of getting things out and gone, and then they don't quite make it out or they get reshuffled to somewhere else. And so then I get really frustrated because all of that stuff is there in my head, annoying me and physically annoying me because you know it's in the way. So the office space that I'm in now, I spent a good probably 2 weekends getting it to nice, tidy. It's easy to keep clean. I feel better when it's clean and I can hoover it and it's tidy and, you know, keep the desk nice and clean.
Mhm.
That feels really good. It's when there's other stuff elsewhere. So I suppose there's the boredom and the resentment of having to do all the things, but all of the things have kind of got something else in the way that I have to get through first.
Okay. Well, at least one of the things that you sort of suggested, if not a couple of them, I don't see any reason why you couldn't get somebody else to do them if you wanted to. Do you know, I know that there's people that do ironing. I know there's people that do washing, and there's people that do cleaning, and there's people that do tidying, and there's people that will move your whole house to another house, let alone clean it out. It sounds like it's possible to get somebody to do all those things.
True. So if there's what if there's a third party blockage so a third party who doesn't want that kind of stuff outsourced?
Okay. Is this like your partner, just to be specific?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is his role in this then?
Well, he does it too. So it's not like if I don't do it, he doesn't do it, and I'm the only one doing it. In fact, he probably cleans and tidies more than I do. But I kind of see a thing there that there's opportunity for things that neither of us want to do for someone else to do, but he doesn't want to get someone else to do it. Okay. And bearing in mind we're in a, it's our space, and he doesn't want a third, an outsourced person in that space. What do you do?
Well, I think the first step would be to understand why he sees that as a challenge. If you think it's a sensible solution and worth progressing, the first step would be, I'm assuming, it seems logical to me to understand why he finds it a challenge. Do you know why that is?
I have an idea. I mean, he didn't grow up in the best of places, so he's dealt with a lot of burglaries and break-ins in his life, so he's very safety conscious, very, very safety conscious, and we live in a really safe place, and he has a fear. He has a fear of people breaking in, people being in here that shouldn't be in here. So I can understand it's uncomfortable. That would be uncomfortable. If you've lived in a place that's never felt safe, grown up there, constantly been burgled and broken into, you're going to be a little bit more sensitive to protecting your environment, I suppose. So I think that could be a big blockage for him, in that it would be inviting people that he doesn't know and trust into our space.
Okay. Can you imagine, or in fact, not imagine, that's the wrong way of thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember a time when you've been in a similar sort of space when he wanted something to be done, but you were reluctant to do it and stuff like that? Because you had a previous belief, experience, or something which sort of informed you that this might not be the smartest, safest thing to do?
Yes. It's a different situation, but it's a similar situation.
Yeah. So what I'm interested in is not the content, but more of the structure of it. So what I'm wondering is how did you overcome that?
We didn't. I caved, and then we didn't do it again.
Okay. I'm assuming that he's not caving in.
No. So I suppose if there was no room for caving, and if there's a third obstacle, how can I make things feel better if the both of us are doing these things together, or if I'm just doing it or he's just doing it? How can I?
Sure. So maybe I could share something here, because if it was you, what I would be doing with you would be getting you to see that the construction, the situation, the circumstances which created that belief has a boundary.
Yeah.
Your current situation is outside that boundary, and then it's contained somewhere else, and getting you to see and become aware of those distinctions. So I guess at some point you might feel a sense of discomfort and trepidation and stuff like, but possibly be, consciously be aware that they are different, and you're just living in a legacy feeling.
Yeah.
So I guess I would do it. And then what I would probably be encouraging you to do is to see if you could take a small step.
Yeah.
And then build that up, for instance.
So we've had quite a big breakthrough in the fact that we've had a dishwasher installed.
Outstanding.
So that's like hurrah. So he's riding high on the benefits of that at the moment. So that's been a long time coming. So one of the massive things that we hate an untidy kitchen. That level of stuff and mess all the time, and it's dirty. You don't want that kind of dirtiness all around. You want to come down to a kitchen in the morning and it's lovely and clean and not 4 days worth of washing off. We've gone,
yeah, and then the challenge to begin gets bigger, doesn't it?
Exactly. And that's the issue with the stuff, with my stuff. Is the challenge to begin feels gigantic. So I think a small step.
The other thing is I mean, I'm sort of giving you sort of suggestions of how I would approach this with a client if I was helping to get them to see something. Would be to get them to recognize the similarities between other things. Here's an example. I don't want to be dependent on somebody to do these things. And I might say, do you grow your own food?
Yeah.
Or do you go to the supermarket? And then say it's not about being dependent, but interdependent.
Yes.
And reframing it for them. Do you pump your own water and carry it from the well every day?
We definitely don't.
No. That's so to what extent is this different than that?
It might be none. Like it's not that different, is it? It's not being dependent on other people getting these things done. There's no issue there,
Yeah.
But I can see how he would potentially feel there is. At least the washing up's going to get done.
Yeah. It seems to me that unless there's something which is really deep and fundamental, I think I just get a sense that it's going to be slowly, softly,
Yeah.
by building it up. In fact, here's an interesting story. I think it was back in the 70s. There was this experiment about getting people to do things and say yes. So the run of this experiment, let's get it essentially on two sides of the road, and on one side of the road, they went and asked people if they could put up this huge sign in their garden to say, please drive carefully or something. Now, most of people said, bugger off and stuff. And then they sort of asked people then if they could put little small ones in and stuff. But if people said no to the big ones, they said, could you maybe put one of these small little postage, sort of like a postcard thing? And then after a while, like a week or so, they went back and said, there's been a huge improvement in the speed and everybody and stuff like that. It's making a massive difference. Do you think we could put a bigger sign up? And loads of people said yeah. So the takeaway, the learning of that is, if you get people to say yes to a small thing, it then makes it easier to say yes to a bigger thing if you can tell them that the impact has been positive.
Yeah.
And if they can see it as well, feel it, experience it, even better.
Brilliant.
And you see that playing out all over. Would you like to attend my free training course? Yes, I'd love to attend you. Would you like to attend another one? Yes. Would you like to attend my paid course?
Yes, of course.
And that's where it's using that same principle.
I like that.
So what's the smallest yes? It sounds like a dishwasher is a reasonably big yes.
That was a big yes. And like I said, he's feeling really positive about it. So now would be the time to introduce another small yes.
I think so. Enthusiasm seems to have a half-life. So I would certainly,
yes. Before he gets fed up with the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And what about when you're just not motivated to do something?
Right. Okay.
So if you flip it on that it's something you want to do, but you're not quite motivated.
Can you give me an example?
For me, it's exercise.
Okay.
So I definitely want to exercise more. And this is a want that I've had for many years, but I can't find the motivation to get started. And it feels like a big undertaking again.
Yeah. So I'm gonna really challenge you on that one. I'm gonna say you don't really want to exercise. You're interested in exercising,
Yes.
but you don't want to exercise. If you wanted to, you'd be doing it. You don't want to. You're interested in doing it. That's different.
That is different. Yes, I can't challenge that back.
Now, the thing is, what is it about exercise that you've not been liking?
The feeling of doing it at the time.
Okay.
That it's challenging, it's difficult. Sometimes it's painful.
And does exercise have to be challenging, difficult, and painful to get results?
Mm. My experience so far has been yes.
Have we tried all forms of exercise?
No. No.
Okay. Well, it seems to me, I mean, the way that it's just a very simple way of looking at things. If you're having a feeling about something, this is good, this is bad, the only way that you're gonna ever have that feeling is if you've given it some essence, you've given it some power of something. So you're obviously putting the essence in at some point. Now it seems that you're also giving it some focus as well. So the focus is in the right now, this is uncomfortable, and uncomfortable equals bad.
Yes.
Therefore, exercise not good.
Yes. This is definitely the.
So what if that feeling of discomfort, you was to maybe realize that it was telling you that your body was getting stronger? Instead of it being discomfort, it was telling you that it was getting stronger.
I've definitely not applied that thinking to that before. It's just been very much, this is hard, this is probably too hard. This now feels bad. Now I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some practical sort of stuff, if you go from, your desk to running 100 meters, fall on out, that might hurt.
Yeah.
And maybe that, you need to warm up first and sort of start with gentle walks and sort of like extend that. Maybe there's some practical stuff in that, because exercise shouldn't, you know, I guess if you, depending on the sort of stuff you want it to be working your body, but it shouldn't be painful.
Yes.
It should be, I guess, uncomfortable, I guess, if you want to grow and stuff. Not that I'm an expert on those things, but so I would check on that. Are you honestly not pushing yourself too much? And that would be a practical thing to check.
0 to hero.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
that's and I guess we've all done that. It's like we go to the gym and we lift weights and we push ourselves, and we wake up the next morning, we feel like we've just been run over.
Yeah.
And then it's 3 days before we can actually move our arms again, and then we've lost all will to go back.
Yes. This has definitely been
The
the
cycle.
cycle. Yeah, 100%.
So what does that suggest that you should do differently then?
Well, I think small steps.
Yeah.
Again, it's small steps. So don't expect 0 to hero. Don't expect to be Diamond League athletic Hazel in 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
don't get frustrated that I'm not there, and actually just think about the movement and how, if it is uncomfortable, that it is getting stronger. It's an improvement, it's a change. It's not just, I mean, I don't think I subscribe to, or it's got to be hard, because that's just not nice. That's not, why should things be really difficult? Why should you make things really difficult for yourself? But there are smaller steps I can take to get stronger, to then it not, where I don't push myself so hard, where it won't hurt so much, where it won't be so uncomfortable, that it then won't feel like a massive challenge. And I think that's a thinking I can apply to quite a lot of things, not just this, where it's not really a lack of motivation. It's a story I've told myself where it's too hard, it hurts, you can't do it. Then there's all the, oh, you're rubbish at this. Don't worry.
Well, that's how it expands out from there, isn't it? And it is usually this means that.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
I'm inviting you to see that, maybe it doesn't mean that.
Maybe it means something else.
Yeah.
And something more positive.
Mm.
Yeah. Maybe the washing doesn't mean, oh my God, this is really annoying, I have to do it again. Maybe it means, oh, look, we've done the washing. I've got clean clothes again. Hooray.
Well, that's where you put the focus as well. And that's the essence of, I guess, where you put your focus in time as well.
Yeah.
If you're focusing on the outcome versus the task.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes the first thing that just surfaced within me there was the distinction of painting the room. All the edging and then the rolling and then all the carpet coverings and all that sort of stuff. But if you can connect with that finished room and get a sense of how amazing it's going to be to sit there and it feel fresh.
Yeah.
That can give you the motivation to begin.
And to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Because you can, even if there's tasks, so even like you said, if there's like business tasks I need to do for myself, things that need to get done, I've been really focusing on the task at hand, wherever that is, whether that's getting on the cross trainer or getting fed up with all of the jobs I don't want to be doing. I've never looked at what, or felt into what the outcome would feel like if I, at the end of it.
Yeah. So what? Let's just check on that. I mean, let's imagine 2 weeks from now, you've sort of organized your house. Things are nice and tidy. You've got you've got your stuff passed on to somebody that will love and use it and cherish it, you know, and you're left with the things which are both beautiful and functional and mean something to you, and everything's in its place, and you're feeling energized and motivated to do exercise. What's that like for you?
That's like a fizzy, exciting.
Yeah.
That fizzy exciting makes me want to get started. And then feeling, because I can feel into how like the office feels now, and it's a really calm, nice place to be in, and I can feel that's just on the cusp. Like everywhere else could feel like this too.
Yeah. What are the other places?
So living room,
Yeah. How
spare
will that
bedroom.
feel for you?
Oh, how will that feel? Well, that will feel welcoming. There'll be space for people, for guests. It will be open. Everything will be in its place. There won't be random things that don't have a home that just keep getting shuffled. It will be calm, really calm.
Other rooms?
The guest room, that's possibly the worst room at the moment. Um, and that'll be a really nice place for when the guests come and stay. And a nice relaxing space.
Awesome. What will you do when the guests come and stay? What would that be like?
It'll be fun and it'll be nice to connect again in person, and it won't be stressful because I won't have to get everything ready. They'll be ready. It will be ready for whoever comes whenever they want to come.
That sounds really wonderful.
It does sound good.
It does, doesn't it? So what would be the first step to making all that happen?
I think in terms of stuff, that would be probably a room at a time and then a section of a room at a time.
Okay.
And it will be, do I want to keep it? Is it going to get sold? Can I donate it? And then those two categories will leave. Once the decision's made, they will leave. They won't just sit there waiting to go on to their onward journey. They're going to go. They're exiting.
And are you good at making those decisions?
Not with sentiment. No, no, not with sentimental things.
Okay. I tell you about this guy that stamp collector, and he was made up because there was only 2 stamps in the world, and he just managed to buy the second one. And the 2 most expensive stamps. And his friend says, "What are you going to do with it this time?" He says, "I'm going to burn it." Because the first one becomes the only one. It's way more valuable now.
Mm-hmm.
No longer 2, there's only 1. It amplifies it. Less is more.
Less is more.
I think you could apply that to some aspects of your room.
Very much so.
Yeah. The best thing that I found, right, to share this because it worked wonders for me, and I like to share it. It was this question of, if you didn't own it already, how much would you be willing to pay to own it?
For most of this stuff, nothing.
There you go.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Even stuff I bought myself that I wouldn't buy it again. That's deserved.
Yeah. It's called the endowment effect. The fact that the very fact of owning something means that we believe it's worth more.
Yeah,
But if you flip the question the other way around, it's
that makes sense. That's a good flip. If you can just look at the stuff in a different way.
yeah.
How much would I pay for this now? Nothing. So it has no value to me now then, does it? So why is it still here? Could have value to somewhere else.
Yeah. And passing something to somebody else as a gift that has zero value to you can create value for you in that sense.
It feels good, doesn't it? It feels good to pass things on to people who need things and want things.
Yeah.
Nice.
So how will you schedule your time to get all this done?
Realistically.
Always realistically. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, no, that's not. I'm not always realistic. Sometimes I think 0 to hero. So I can't expect that guest bedroom to be done in a weekend, because I also want to do nice things with my weekend. So it's having the patience, having a bit of balance, and chipping away, and focusing on the outcome, feeling good that that's what it's going to get. So I don't need to be frustrated and impatient and annoyed that it's taking as long as it's going to take to get to it. And same with the exercise. Nice. Actually feel like chomping at the bit to get it done now.
Excellent.
Instead of the feeling. Yeah.
Good.
Cool.
Is that good for now?
That's good for now. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. When will you let me know how you're getting on? Next week?
Next weekend.
Will you make it?
Yes.
And make some progress.
And I've got a deadline as well. So I hopefully have my best friend visiting from back home. Second week of August. So I've got something to work towards that's realistic, and there's alternatives if I can't get it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be nice for her. So
that's it. Perfect is just made up.
Yeah, I mean, she might look at it and go, "That's perfect now."
Focus on better.
Yes, better. Cool.
Awesome. Right. I'll see you soon. All right. Take care. Bye.